Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. For my other videos, kindly refer to the links given in the description below. In this video, I am going to explain how to use sticks to draw flowcharts in LaTeX. Let us now take up the Technic Center editor. Here I am using the package TIX and I am also using TIX libraries, shapes, arrows, calc, positioning, and the last one, it is not shapes or geometric, shapes.geometric. I am using these libraries for this purpose. Now, when we attempt to draw a flowchart, we come across number of blocks. One of them is process block. Usually it is in the form of a rectangle. Input-output block is in the form of a rhombus. And then decision block is like a diamond. Predefined process block is usually a rectangle with double vertical lines. Terminal block can be a rectangle with curved sides or an ellipse. It can be an ellipse or a rectangle with curved sides. Now, with this in mind, first we define certain styles. I would like to define, see, in the previous version of TIX, the command used here was TIX style. With the latest version, the command here is TIX set, open and close curly braces, within which we define different styles. By line, for line, I define a style like this, dot style equal to curly brace open close and then finally comma. We are going to draw the line and with an arrow mark. Initially it is a straight line and it ends with the stealth arrow head. It is in blue in color. Similarly, the process block is in the form of a rectangle. We draw the border, we have a rounded corners, and the text that we are going to enter there is centered, and we are going to fill it with a color 50% of yellow. The IO block is similarly defined like this: trapezium, draw, trapezium right angle is 110 degrees, rounded corners, and it is 20% red. Decision block has got this style and cloud block has got this style. Now we start with begin text picture, end text picture. We say node, this is the name we give, start, and then here we have cloud. When we say cloud within square brackets, this style already defined by us will be used, and in the output we will have start, and then node, next node is in, and then the style is IO. We say this is below of start. Remember, when you give names like this, start, in, decision, P2, P1, P2, P3, out, stop, etc., it should be meaningful for you. What I mean to say is, don't give here A, B, C, D or node 0, node 1, node 2, node 3, etc. Let it be meaningful for the person who is constructing this flowchart. Then, with the different styles that we have already predefined, and we refer here the position below of, not simply below of equal to start, the start block, and then below of in, below of P1, below of decision block, below of decision, right of decision block, below of P2 block, below of R2 block, etc. We can give no distance different values here, or this node distance can be given, if it is common, it can be given as an optional bracket here. Node distance equal to 2 centimeter or 2.5 centimeter, which is applicable for all the nodes. In this case, I am using different distances for different nodes, and in the output we will have start, input, process 1, decision, process 2, etc. displayed. Then I will come to this a little later. Compile now. You get this output. See, as per our requirement, we have defined it like this. Start and input block. See, input block is below of start, and then process 1 is below of input, and so on. Now we have to connect them. In the first case, we draw as per this style. We have already defined what do you mean by line, and then we start from start and go up to the in block. Similarly, the other cases. Now, let us consider this case. We draw from decision block up to P3 block, and then here we have a node which is positioned at a distance of 0.2 from decision block, and it is available above. Then you can have the connecting lines like this. This is no. Then let us say we start from decision block, go up to P2, from P2 to output, and then from decision block up to P2 we have another node at a position 0.2 and appears on the right hand side. Here we have yes appearing, here we have no appearing, and the last line is, let us say, from P3 to output to the stop line, stop block. Now let us consider this. I am not using the predefined style line here. I say dash dotted. This is red in color. Starting is with latex style and ending is with stealth style, and the line is rectangular. First horizontal line and then vertical line. I think you are able to see this. This is double-headed arrow. Double-headed arrow. Initially here it is like latex arrow, and here we have stealth arrow. Now similarly we can draw a line from P3 to input. This is again a rectangular line. Starting is vertical and ending is horizontal, like this. This seems to be a very, very simple affair. But now let us consider a case where I would like to draw a line from decision and going up to, let us say, start. In that case, what we can do is we can define a node which I call dumb, and then the output is nothing. Here we say it is available at the left of decision, here on this side, left of decision. And if you are going to have some text here, you can use align left, and you can say X shift. X shift means it will be moving towards the positive x-axis. When you say -2m, it will be moving towards negative x-axis. we define here, and this node is not visible because here we have not given anything, number 1. Number 2, the style here is coordinate. Coordinate is a special case of node with 0 dimensions. There is no dimension here, therefore it is not visible. Then let us now start drawing the line from decision and on the western side going up to the dummy node, and another line starting from dummy node, and this is a rectangular arrow, first vertical and then horizontal going to the start. Now you will have this line. Suppose we have not given here the coordinate, let us say, then here you will find there will be an invisible node of a particular dimension, therefore the lines will not meet. That is why we say here coordinate. With coordinate, the lines here will meet. And I would suggest, after drawing this figure, you can scale it. Scale it suitably to fit into the document. With this, we complete our discussion on drawing flowcharts using ticks. We will continue in another video. Thank you very much.